Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Today we're going to be doing the Canadian Grand Prix with the Williams Racing Team and F1 Manager 23 to continue our season. Before I get into everything, I hope everybody had a very great holidays and had a very great New Year's. But let's just get back to the strategies here real quick. Softs for a very short time because it's going to start to rain. Full wets because it's going to come down very fast and really make the track wet, as you can see in the graph here. With that all being said, let's kick this off with the Canadian Grand Prix. At the beginning of the race, I do my normal strategy by sticking with him for the DRS when it's activated. Unfortunately for Sargent, he didn't make it through the first corner without taking a little bit of minor damage on his front wing. So I decided that I was going to keep him out there. We'll change his wing when we go to full wets. Here at the end of lap 5, the rain got so bad for the track, in my opinion, so I decided to bring both drivers in to switch to inters. Now, one thing I did realize that I did with Sargent was I didn't change his front wing. I totally screwed that up. So there is a clip coming that is going to make it absolutely hilarious, and I hope you guys enjoy. Did I forget to change something on Sargent? Oh, he didn't change his wing. Damn it. Oh, well. I guess I just screwed Sargent over. My bad. Here at the end of lap 17, I was looking at the graph and it looks like the track is going to dry from wet to damp. So I'm going to pit Sargent this lap at the end of lap 17 for inters and his front wing to be replaced. Albon, we're going to wait until some of the people in front of us start pitting for inters, and then that's when we're going to pit. Here at the end of lap 31, going on to lap 32, I've already pitted Sargent to go back to full wets really early, and Albon's going in for full wets now, since we're getting close to the 4.0 mark for the track to be changed from damp to wet. Let's see if this will pay out for us. At the end of lap 53, going on to lap 54, we get lucky with a yellow flag, which will turn into a red flag. I thought this was the greatest thing that we needed at this point that we could really use for our drivers. Except again, I made a huge, very bad decision off the restart. You'll see right here, I do put them on inters. But the only problem is on the restart, I bring them right into the pitch and I change them over to softs right away. It slowed the cars down because the track was not ready for dries yet. You'll see when we restart where we end up finishing because we're 12th and 17th. Right here, coming up to the end of the race, you'll end up seeing where we finish. If you guys like what you guys see, you like the content, consider hitting like on the video. If you're not subscribed, consider subscribing. Max, I believe, is going to be your winner. I believe we finished like somewhere like 18th or 20th. Next race in the video is going to be Austria for the sprint race in the Red Bull Ring. We'll see you there. Race number 2 for the video, it's going to be Austria. We got a sprint and we got an actual race. In the upcoming events, you can see that I have a front wing being manufactured. That's because in the last video, I totally made the mistake for that. Everything for cars and what we're doing for the future and everything is going to be coming up at the end of the next video. So stay tuned for that. For the time being, let's get straight to Austria and get this stuff on the road. For the sprint race, strategies look like this. Go with the mediums and just go with the race. So let's get to it. For the sprint race, what we're going to do is what we do all the time, stick with them until the DRS is activated so we can be in that zone so we can use that against them. At this point, I don't think I would be wanting to look for points in general, but let's see if we can improve our spots. That would be the best case scenario. Here on lap 3, we're pushing Yuki really hard going into turn 1. Yuki ends up locking up, and we just take the spot. Here at the end of lap 10, going on to lap 11, nothing really interesting has happened since Yuki locked up here at turn 1. We've been pushing with both drivers. They seem to have pretty good pace, and Albon's even caught up to Norris and Magnussen. It's been a pretty smooth race so far. Here on lap 16, we finally get a little bit of an incident. Yellow flag, race control says it's a virtual safety car, so I'm taking this time to recharge batteries, save fuel, and conserve our tires. We're going all out on this safety car. Ooh, that was pretty hard. On the restart after the virtual safety car, I put them basically on pushing again almost as hard as I can, other than the tires being on full out attack. Here we are going on to lap 23. Albon's ready to pass him. Can't. Ready to keep going. Ready to pass Huckelberg. On the straight. There he goes. And then Albon has a lockup. There goes Albon's race. And here at the end of the race, our drivers are going to start 13th and 15th. Let's just hope we have a better race than we did a sprint race. Let's start the actual race. Okay, the strategies for the actual Grand Prix look like this. We're trying something a little bit different, but the intermediates are there because there's going to be rain. Let's get to it. Here at the beginning of the race, we're going to do our usual thing. Stay with people in front of us so we can get DRS when it comes up, and go from there. I'm just really hoping that this time I don't screw up the strategy. Right? Here at the end of lap 2 to lap 3, I didn't screw up the strategy or anything, but Albon does. He spins, hits the wall. We get a virtual safety car. I do end up just retiring Albon's car, so we're only going to have Sargent for the rest of this race. At the end of the virtual safety car on the green flag, I have Sargent going a full-out attack on his tires, but not his fuel or his battery. I'm really kind of hoping that he can have a good race here, because if he has some good races at the near the end of the season, it just might save his seat for next year. Here on lap 6, we get another yellow flag from multiple cars crashing. As you can see, I also started pushing with Sargent's fuel. Here's what happened. Here on lap 28, mostly everybody's pitted for their second stint. We went to the hards from the softs. Yellow flag and a virtual safety car. You know what we do with virtual safety cars? We save everything.
Into turn 1. Within a split second, the impact's made. Well, following a crash like that.
At the end of the virtual safety car, we just put everything back to normal. Normal pace, normal fuel. We just run like that for a little bit longer and stick with our strategy. Here at lap 40, just a race update. Not much has gone on for like yellow flags and things like that, other than people running wide and maybe locking up here and there. Sargent's been doing pretty good. I like to be able to put more pace into it, but the tires just don't let us. Here on lap 63, everything was going pretty good. Sargent was able to get up to 14th, but then does a lockup right here, and that's going to make us drop back a little bit. At the end of the race, we ended up in 16th. Stroll's your winner. There was the Austrian Grand Prix. And for the British Grand Prix, here's how we're going to start our strategies. The only difference is Albon on hards, Sargent on mediums. Let's see what strategy works better here in the British Grand Prix. Let's go to the start of the race. Our normal thing at the start of the race, we try to keep with people, pass if we can, but really use that DRS when it comes available. Unfortunately, in the first corner, Albon does make contact with Pierre Gasly in the Alpine car. Here's the replay. As you can see, the farther back Alpine driver does make contact with our back end. We do check over Albon's car. Nothing is wrong with the car. We decide that we're going to keep him out. Coming up here on the third lap, everything was going really good. Having a nice, good, solid battle with Magnussen. Unfortunately, right there, we do make contact with Magnussen. That gives us minor front wing damage. I decided just to keep him out. He really stuck with Magnussen, even though having wing issues. Unfortunately, he does run wide there, damages the chances to pass him in there. Here's a little incident that happened on track with Charles in an Aston Martin. Kept on going. Leclerc pitted. He got a 5-second penalty. Still trying to just kind of push Albon, see if we can maintain where he's at. We're now getting to his pit window, but right there, just before the pit window came up, we do have Stroll who gets out. I kind of figured that Albon's race might be done, so I decided to start concentrating on Sargent mostly, since it seemed like he's been the better racer over the last few races. Here's a Sergio Perez and Alonso getting into an issue. I believe somewhere along the line that brought out a safety car, so what we did, we conserve. Every single time we conserve. I did end up making a huge decision in the middle of a safety car and brought in both cars for a quick pit. Hopefully to put them on tires that will be able to push and get us to the end of the race. Unfortunately with Albon, as you can see coming up here, he has an 8-second pit stop. Very bad. But on the restart, Sargent really kept with Hamilton, Magnussen, Russell, Leclerc, some of the guys up front there. Coming up to the end of the race, I did end up getting Sargent and Albon into the points in 8th and 9th. Alonso is your winner. The race coming up next, and the final race of the video, is in Hungary at the Hungaroring. We'll see you guys there. And for the Hungarian Grand Prix, this is the strategies I have for the cars. Something a little bit different for each of them, but hopefully we can get something good to come out of it. Anyway, let's start the Grand Prix. For the start of the Grand Prix, do my usual thing, try to stick with them unless we can pass, wait for DRS, and try to use that to our advantage. Unfortunately, at the end of lap 7 going on to lap 8, we do get a yellow flag, which does turn into a safety car. So I conserve everything on the cars. During the safety car, a lot of the teams and drivers have pitted to get fresh tires. We decided not to.
Oh no!
Anyway, this is what happened.
Max is in 4th. Wow. Oh! Ooh.
So on the restart, as you can see, Alonso got the penalty. I do push with our gas and not our tires. Hope that will do enough to stick with the people in front of us who did pit. Here we get another yellow flag, but we do not end up getting a safety car. But this is what happened. So Lewis Hamilton and Gasly end up actually connecting with one another. Gasly ended up getting the 5-second penalty, but in this clip he's already pitted. Now this is where I decided on the start of lap 3-4 that I'm going to pit Albon for his pit, and to hope that, you know, we can get something out of this, because we didn't pit for the safety car, and I started getting kind of worried that there might be a possibility that it's not going to work out with us, and I should have pitted under the safety car. Another yellow flag, but this time it's going to be Sargent who's involved in the crash. Major front wing damage. His race has been kind of poor in the first place, so I decided I'm just going to retire his car. This is what ended up happening.
Now we're approaching turn 2. Barely any room to manoeuvre. And the impact on the car, it's quite clear.
And right there,
Mercedes
that's
better get
exactly
the...
what happened. So, yep, there we go. Coming up to the end of the race, I got Albon up to 11th, but just couldn't get anything else. Perez is your winner. This has been the Hungarian Grand Prix. I hope you guys enjoyed. Coming up next is going to be the halfway season wrap-up, kind of explaining what kind of stuff that we're doing with research and everything in the future of the team. So stay tuned for that.
Alright guys, this is just a little bit of a special area. We're going to see what our mid-season area is starting to look like, what we're into, what we're not into, what we're doing, and what the future of everything is going to hold. As you can see on this side, we'll start from the top, even though everybody already seen who I'm scouting. We're going to have manufacturing completed today with the suspension, which is going to be great because now we have the suspension that we're going to need possibly until something else happens. We are going to have the Belgium Grand Prix next, as you guys can see. Sponsor obligation, board performance review. We're going to have some research done, so I don't know if I'm doing more research in 4 days or if I'm going to design something. But as you can see, in 5 days, we're going to get the scouting report on Carlos Sainz. Maybe see if there's a possibility for that. And then our front wing research is going to be done as well. So we'll just jump over to that right now, because I am designing in second suspension of the season, technically, that I've actually am designing. The first one, technically, I designed the year before. So this season, this is the second time I'm designing some suspension. Underfloor is going to be done soon. I don't know if I'm pretty sure I want to design a rear wing one more time this season. I'm still debating whether I want to do the front wing as a design or if I want to just throw everything now into research. Research everything I possibly can for next year. In manufacturing, we're just getting rid of the last little bit of suspensions, because if you go back to design and oh no, never mind. Let's go back into the warehouse here. Suspension. We only have a quantity of 5. That's why I'm designing, designing or whatever, 5 more. But everything else seems to be pretty good for part wise. You know what I mean? Like suspension, we're manufacturing some more. There's design for another one. So I'm hoping that the S3, I believe is what it's going to be called. I'm hoping that's going to be really helpful with our tires. You know, maybe we can start doing certain things and stuff like that. Our drivers are the same, other than Albon went up to an 82, which I'm hoping that's going to be very good for us. So far, so good. The reserve, I think, is going to be replaced next season. Probably thinking about maybe upgrading some staff maybe in the off season. I'm gonna reevaluate our guys here, and we're gonna go from there. Scouting, I have 2 in progress. I am also scouting Charles Leclerc. So we're scouting both Ferrari drivers. Hopefully, maybe just going to go for Sainz. That's who I'm really hoping for. It'd be really cool to get Charles, but I have a feeling, because if you go down to negotiation attitude, he's not interested. So that might mean he's already signed a contract for next year kind of thing. So, or he's planning on it. Sainz says he's not interested, but I'm pretty sure he has his contract ending. But that was thinking maybe like a Lando Norris, maybe even a Russell. Like, I'm trying to find guys that we would really like to have on as a driver. Facilities. Okay, we're upgrading. I'm upgrading. And I'm gonna upgrade. So that's what we're gonna do right now. Bring those things up to 2. I have a bad feeling about that. If we want to go to board confidence, they're high. Our race performance hasn't been the best, but they are happy. So, you know, I think we're doing pretty decent for that. The standings, the championship. We're in 8th or 6th. We're 5 points away from McLaren. Drivers, obviously not really that great. And that's one reason why I'm thinking, like, should I trade somebody? You know, that kind of thing. His contract, I believe, his contract is another year. So maybe we can. Maybe we switch. Maybe we switch our. Oh, I only have $3 million right there. Jeez, those upgrades really did the number on us. But yeah, let me know. What do you think about Sainz? What would you think about Sainz being on Williams? Because maybe we can bring Carlos Sainz to do car 2, and Logan Sargent can go down to our reserve drivers. So that's always something that we can do right there. So I don't know, but I think that will conclude this little tidbit of halfway through the season. Hey everybody, Mav here. Just want to take this time to say thank you for your guys' support with all the subscribers. Just really hope to grow this channel here in 2024. Got a lot of really interesting concept ideas with F123, with a co-op career mode with my friend, some NHL 23 content, art content, just a lot of really interesting things that I hope are coming up. I just really want to take this time to say thank you. Hope you guys had a great holidays, a very great new year. And just thank you so much, and we'll see you guys in the next video.